October 1942. The skies over Malta. A Spitfire pilot watches an Me-109 close in from behind. He has 3 seconds. Instead of diving or banking, he does the one thing every manual forbids. He pulls back hard. The engine screams. The plane shudders. And then it stops flying. The Messerschmitt rockets passed, confused, exposed. In that half-second of stall, the pilot flips his nose down, rolls inverted, and fires. The German ace never saw it coming. The island of Malta sits like a broken tooth in the center of the Mediterranean, midway between Sicily and North Africa, a limestone fortress beneath relentless sun. By 1942, it has become the most bombed place on Earth. More tonnage per square mile than London. More raids than anywhere in the war. The harbors are choked with wreckage. The airfields are cratered daily, and the men stationed there are exhausted. The Luftwaffe and Regia Aeronautica fly from Sicily, less than 60 miles north. They come in waves, Stukas, Ju-88s, escorted by fighters flown by veterans of Spain, France, and the Eastern Front. Men with iron crosses and 100 kills, men who know every tactic, every maneuver, every trick in the book. The RAF squadrons defending Malta are outnumbered, outgunned, and running on fumes. Fuel is rationed, ammunition is scarce, spare parts arrive in trickles, if at all. The Spitfires are good machines, fast, agile, but they are fighting men who have mastered the vertical fight, the snap roll, the high-side gun pass. The kind of pilots who can smell hesitation from 2,000 feet. And the rules of air combat, drilled into every Allied pilot since 1940, are clear. Keep your speed. Never stall, never give up energy. A stalled aircraft is a dead aircraft. It cannot maneuver. It cannot fight. It falls. The logic is sound. Physics supports it, and so does experience. Dozens of pilots have died in spins they could not recover from. Stalling in combat is suicide. The manuals say so, the instructors say so, the aces say so. It is doctrine, and doctrine in war is written in blood. But there is one pilot on Malta who does not think like the others. If you want more such stories, like and subscribe so these lives aren't forgotten. His name is George Frederick Beurling, born in Verdun, Quebec in 1921, the son of a Swedish immigrant father and a devoutly religious mother. A boy who watched seagulls for hours, studying how they turned, how they stalled, how they used the wind. He built model planes in his basement, read everything he could find on aerodynamics. Dropped out of school at 14 to work odd jobs and pay for flying lessons. By 16, he had his pilot's license. By 18, he had logged more hours than men twice his age. He tried to enlist in the Royal Canadian Air Force. They rejected him. Twice. Not enough education, they said. Lacks discipline. Does not follow procedure. So he borrowed money, booked passage to Scotland, and joined the RAF directly. They sent him through training. Barely. His instructors noted his skill, but also his stubbornness. He questioned everything, challenged doctrine, flew by instinct rather than rule. He was brilliant in the air and impossible on the ground. Beurling does not drink, does not smoke, does not chase women or play cards. He is awkward in conversation, blunt, obsessive. He eats carrots for his eyesight, practices mental geometry, calculates deflection angles in his head while other pilots relax. He is not interested in camaraderie. He is interested in one thing, shooting down enemy aircraft, not for glory, not for medals, but because it is a problem, a puzzle, and he believes he can solve it better than anyone else. In July 1942, he is posted to Malta. He is 21 years old. He has never fired his guns in combat. Within 4 months, he will become the top Allied ace in the theater, but not by following the rules. The problem is energy. In a dogfight, altitude equals speed equals life. The pilot who can maintain energy can dictate the fight. He can climb, he can dive, he can disengage. The pilot who bleeds off speed becomes predictable, vulnerable, a target. Every maneuver costs energy, every turn, every roll, and once you lose it, you are at the mercy of geometry and gravity. The Luftwaffe pilots know this. They exploit it. They bait Allied fighters into turning fights, bleeding off speed, then pounce from above. They use the boom and zoom, dive, fire, climb away, never commit, never slow down. It is methodical, clinical, deadly, and it works. The kill ratios prove it. German aces rack up scores in the dozens, some in the hundreds. They are not reckless. They are patient. They wait for mistakes, and the mistake most Allied pilots make is desperation. When an enemy gets on their tail, they turn hard, they yank the stick, they try to outturn the attacker. But the tighter the turn, the more speed they lose, and once they are slow, they are finished. The German pilot simply pulls lead, fires, and watches them fall. It is not even close. The doctrine says the solution is to never let the enemy get behind you. Maintain situational awareness. Keep your speed. Fight in pairs. Cover each other. All true, all correct. But in the chaos over Malta, where 6 or 8 or 10 enemy fighters swarm a single Spitfire, doctrine is not enough. There are moments when you are alone, when the enemy is faster, when he has altitude, when he is closing, when every rule you know says you are already dead. Beurling does not accept this. He has studied the problem. He has flown the Spitfire to its edges. He knows its stall speed, its recovery characteristics, its behavior at the edge of control. And he has noticed something the manuals do not teach, something the aces dismiss as madness. A stall, in the right hands at the right moment, is not a loss of control. It is a weapon. The logic is simple, brutal, and elegant. If an enemy fighter is closing from behind, he is flying faster than you. He expects you to turn or dive. He has already calculated the geometry. He is setting up the shot. But if you suddenly stop flying forward, if you kill your speed in an instant, he cannot stop. He cannot slow down fast enough. He will overshoot, and for 1 or 2 seconds he will pass directly in front of your guns. Beurling tests it first in practice, alone, without permission. He climbs to altitude and pulls back hard on the stick. The Spitfire shudders, the wing stalls, the nose drops. He kicks rudder, the plane yaws. He lets it fall for a heartbeat, then shoves the stick forward, dives, and recovers. He does it again and again. He learns the timing, the angle, the altitude needed to recover. He learns how to control the uncontrollable. The other pilots notice. They think he is showing off or suicidal. One of them reports it to the flight commander. Beurling is called in. He is told in no uncertain terms that stalling in combat is forbidden. It is dangerous. It is reckless. It will get him killed. He nods, says nothing, and keeps doing it. In late July, he is flying top cover over a convoy when 3 Me-109s bounce him. He is alone. They are above him, faster, experienced. He climbs, they follow, he turns, they turn inside him. One of them slides in behind, close. Beurling can see the muzzle flashes. Cannon rounds snap past his wing. He has no altitude to dive, no speed to run. The manual says he is finished. Instead, he hauls back on the stick. The Spitfire bucks. The airspeed bleeds to nothing. The wings stop biting air. The plane wallows. The Messerschmitt, traveling at 300 miles per hour, screams past him. Beurling shoves the nose down. Gravity pulls him through. He rolls. The 109 is right there, 50 yards ahead. He squeezes the trigger. 2 seconds. Cannon and machine gun fire rip into the Germans' fuselage. Smoke pours from the engine. The 109 rolls inverted and falls. Beurling recovers, climbs. The other two Germans break off. They do not understand what just happened. Neither do the men on the ground who saw it. When he lands, no one believes him. They think he got lucky, that the German made a mistake. Beurling does not argue. He knows what he did, and he knows he can do it again. August 1942. The raids intensify. The Luftwaffe is trying to pound Malta into surrender before the next convoy arrives. The skies are full of bombers and their escorts. Beurling flies sortie after sortie, 4, 5, 6 times a day. He is gaunt, hollow-eyed. He barely sleeps, but his score climbs. 2 kills, 4, 7, 10. He is using the stall maneuver in nearly every engagement, and it is working. The Germans begin to notice. There is a Spitfire pilot who does not fight like the others, who stops in mid-air, who appears where he should not be, who kills aces with decades of experience. They start calling him the blue-eyed devil, the Falcon of Malta. But they do not understand the method. They think it is instinct, luck, recklessness. It is none of those things. It is math and practice, and the willingness to do what everyone else is too afraid to try. On October 10th, Beurling is flying a sweep over the north coast. 6 Spitfires. They encounter a formation of Ju-88 bombers escorted by 8 Machi fighters and 4 Me-109s. The odds are terrible. The British commander orders the flight to engage the bombers. Beurling breaks off. Alone. He climbs toward the 109s. They see him. They turn in. 4 on 1. They are confident. This is what they do. They split. 2 go high, 2 go low. Classic pincer. Beurling turns into the low pair. They expect him to dive. He pulls up instead. Stalls. The lead 109 overshoots. Beurling drops the nose. Fires. The German's wing shears off. He spins. The second 109 tries to follow, but Beurling is already gone. He has kicked rudder, rolled inverted, dived away. He pulls out low, loops back. The 2 high fighters are diving now, fast. They think they have him. He pulls up again, meets them head-on. They fire. He fires. At the last instant he stalls, drops. They miss. He does not. The second 109 trails smoke, limps north. The remaining 2 break off. They want no part of this. Beurling returns to base. 3 kills in 4 minutes. His squadron mates are silent. The ground crew stares. One of the riggers inspects his plane. No damage, not a single hole. They ask him how he does it. He shrugs, says he shoots where they are going to be. That is all, but it is not all. It is geometry, timing, and a willingness to surrender control for 1 terrifying second to gain the advantage no one else will reach for. By the time Beurling leaves Malta in October 1942, he has 27 confirmed kills. 4 months. 27. More than any other pilot in the theater. His score includes some of the Luftwaffe's best. Men with Knight's Crosses, men with hundreds of hours over hostile territory, men who have never been outflown until him. The tactical impact is immediate. Other pilots begin experimenting with deliberate stalls. Not many. Most still cannot bring themselves to do it. But a few. The bold ones, the desperate ones. They report similar results. Enemy fighters overshooting, moments of vulnerability, kills that should not have been possible. The maneuver is never officially endorsed, never added to the training syllabus. But it spreads, quietly, pilot to pilot, a whispered technique, a last resort. The strategic impact is harder to measure, but no less real. Malta does not fall. The convoys get through. The island becomes a base for offensive operations into Sicily and North Africa. The Axis air superiority over the central Mediterranean erodes, not because of one man, but because men like Beurling bought time, shot down bombers, killed escorts, made the Luftwaffe pay for every raid, made them hesitate, and hesitation in war is a crack in the armor. After Malta, Beurling is sent back to Canada. He is a national hero, parades, medals, interviews. He hates it. He is reassigned, sent to training units. He chafes, argues with officers, requests combat posting, refused. He is too valuable as a symbol, too difficult as a subordinate. The war ends. He is 24. He has 27 kills in 4 months and nothing left to fight. He drifts, tries civilian life, cannot adapt. In 1948, he is flying a transport plane to Israel to join their nascent air force. The plane crashes on takeoff in Rome. He is 27 years old. The records show the numbers, the kills, the sorties, the medals, but they do not show the geometry, the calculus of risk. The moment when instinct and training collide and a man chooses to fall on purpose, trusting in his hands and his mind and the margins of control no one else will touch. George Beurling did not invent the stall. He did not rewrite the laws of aerodynamics. He simply refused to accept that the rules were absolute. He saw the gap between what the manual said and what the machine could do. And he stepped into that gap, again and again, until the thing that should have killed him became the thing that kept him alive. The men he shot down were not inferior pilots. They were veterans, professionals, men who had survived years of combat by mastering the known. But war rewards not only mastery, it rewards adaptation, innovation, the willingness to break the pattern. And for 4 months over a burning island in 1942, one awkward, obsessive young man from Quebec became the thing no rule could predict and no tactic could counter. Not because he was fearless, but because he had done the math, and the math said it would work. Decades later, fighter pilots still study energy management. They still learn to never stall. And they are right, almost always. But buried in the footnotes, in the old after-action reports, in the logbooks of men who flew over Malta, there is a different lesson, that the edge of control is not the end of possibility, that the moment of greatest vulnerability can become the moment of greatest advantage, that sometimes the only way forward is to stop, to fall, and to trust that in the chaos there is a thread of logic only you can see. Beurling never wrote a memoir, never theorized, never sought to teach. He simply flew. And in doing so, he proved that genius in war is not always loud, not always celebrated. Sometimes it is silent, solitary, a flicker of insight in the cockpit of a falling plane, a choice made in defiance of doctrine, a stall that should have been suicide and instead became survival. The Falcon of Malta fell from the sky only once, and that time he did not choose it.